Today in the episode, we're going to have fun at the southernmost and most unique resort in Egypt, Marsa Alam. In the morning, we will go to the reserve with the blue Maldivian sea, exotic trees and funny birds that fly here to eat. Everything crawls around here. We'll drink Sudanese coffee from a Bedouin, chase crabs and go to a bay where turtles and sea cows live. I hope we see you again. We will also end up in a small Egyptian town where we will maliciously haggle with the sellers. Then we'll hop on quad bikes and head deep into the desert along an ancient riverbed. And by evening, we'll arrive in Little Dubai, where I'll be crowned the most beautiful Egyptian. Cow! We'll also take a stroll through the museum on the ship, watch a little show from the deck of the same ship, and then we'll bargain again. Yes, it's a very nice city, beautiful. Thank you very much. This is a small and affordable hotel with a Maldivian beach. It's the closest to the main nature reserves in the region. To the south, along the shore of Sharmi Luli Bay, Kankorap Beach, Kulan Nature Reserve and Hamata Island. We'll be diving in search of turtles in the bay. Abu Dabab, strolling through the towns of Marsa Alam and Port Ghalib, and the safari starts right at the Diblu Hotel. We book the excursions right at the reception with the hotel guide. He represents the tour operator Join Up, so everything is official. To sum up the prices briefly, the Kulan Reserve costs $50, Hamata Island is $70, and the Moto Safari is $45 per person. There are a lot of tasks for today, so we drink coffee, take the thoughtfully packed food bag, and load up into the Jeep. We're putting on creams already on the way. The distance to Marsa Alam is quite significant, and now we have to drive almost 100 kilometers south towards Sudan. Martian landscapes on the sides. For me, it's already a tour, but what always grabs me the most is something real. For example, these calmly grazing camels, which no one prepared for meeting tourists. For Egyptians, it's just like meeting a dog, and of course I asked to stop. The Kulan even from space looks cool, solid lifts and islands. Up close it all impresses even more shoulder, now it is deserted. Besides us there are only fishermen and children. Lonely Bedouins treating reporters to Sudanese coffee. Even the souvenir shop is without an owner. D. Oh, for any king! What is this? You're not interested in diving, are you? Even our guide is sure that this place is similar to the Maldives. Actually, I mixed up the Maldives with Moldova. That's quite a nice slip of the tongue. Here, this is Moldova. Looks like Moldova, right? We have exactly the same ones. The beauties. This is a guide. Everything around is alive. Just like on the shore where crabs have dug themselves a whole city, and in the water, it's hard not to step on someone.
It's indeed extremely beautiful. It's unbearable.
Everything is crawling around here. It's so soft, like wow, he smiled. Under almost every stone, there's something like this living. We thought it was a starfish, like a sea star. But a German walked by and said that in German it's called a star snake. What do you have in your hand? Where? This is a national treasure of Egypt. These trees where I took a bunch of tropical photos are called mangroves, and they desalinate seawater. They desalinate the water. So what kind of water is it? Is it fresh water here?
It's not fresh water.
It's not fresh water.
It's not like that. Here live the poor souls of the Ababda tribe. This is their place, the national park. Here is the bird park. There are a lot of herons here, including black ones. Different birds can be found here. Here's the road.
These might be the same birds that fly away from us for the winter. They fly somewhere in this direction after all. And where is the best place to catch dugongs?
We go into each cove.
But we need to get lucky. On this sign, the park administration asks that no one kills anything. which basically doesn't stop the residents of the nearby village, including the children, from fishing here.
What are you doing here? Fish?
Yes.
You are looking for fish.
Fish.
They hunt sea creatures, the guys with their bare hands and sticks, which is not surprising. Right here in front of us, a stingray just swam by, and a crab is sunbathing right there. And in general, everything is teeming with all sorts of goodies. After catching some of them, the Egyptian youth are having fun. They jump off a coral block into the water, pull each other through the shallow water, and ride on a barrel with wheels. Notice, not a single Wi-Fi gadget is connected. Ah, just like in my childhood. Only by the sea. Tonya, once she got to the Maldives, completely forgot everything and started dancing. Of course, in the breaks between photo sessions. Do I need to say that I ran out of space on my phone already with the herons? I'm just in a relaxed pose. From civilization, there's only a Bedouin tent on the beach. It's very simple, with carpets that look like Moldovan ones, but it was hard to get us out of here. Partly because of the Sudanese coffee that the local Bedouin treated us to.
To health. Dorcho is indeed very tasty.
And strong?
Well, you know, it's actually of moderate strength. What else? Perhaps even more, maybe.
Yes, we definitely take it, indeed, the passport. Yes, Ginger is a shepherd.
Later we will pay a visit to the Bedouins, but we need a separate report about this, so subscribe. It will be on the channel very soon. We're moving to another bay at Hankora Bay Beach. People come here not just to sunbathe or relax in one of the wooden gazebos, but also to see the large marine animals that live here. We came here because there are manatees, turtles, and also a dolphinarium. And the manatees are the main attraction. If it's very beautiful, let's run. For now, we just ran after crabs since our diving will be later and in another place. Here it is. Dude, does it bite? I'm tired of talking about blue water, but you can't get used to it. It's an incredibly beautiful shade.
Next time I'll dye my hair that color. Look, there's a coral.
All these colorful underwater things really got me absolutely excited. So we're heading to the picturesque diver's base at the Malik Resort in Abu Dabab Bay. We also stayed at the Malik Hotel and regularly dropped by the diving center just to have some coffee. By the way, here's my instructor, the German Stefan. Later, he'll laugh at my jokes about Stefan Schellmer and my grandfather's adventures in Berlin. But right now, he's very serious and responsibly explaining to me how to use the scuba gear. On the wall, there's a map of the bay, a schedule, and the weather and wind forecast. You see, the whole calendar is yellow and orange, but we needed green. We never got to see it. Before, I had only dived twice in Sharm el-Sheikh for 10 minutes, and that was a whole 5 years ago. I even forgot how to zip up the suit. Ah, winter in trouble. It seems that I'm the biggest newbie here, and I've only dived underwater with a scuba tank twice before. Now we're going to swim until the oxygen in the tank runs out, which is about an hour. Here, Stefan is taking extra weights, and we're going to dive. I hope we see you again. I hope we're lucky. Yeah. 50-50. Diving is a great way to escape reality a bit. Silence, adrenaline, and weightlessness. I think astronauts feel something similar, but as long as Stefan is calm, I'm calm too. I quickly remembered how to blow water out of the mask and gestured to the instructor to add some weights for me. They found the turtles very quickly, about 100 meters from the shore. They live here permanently and often serve as transport for cleaner fish. These fish don't really like to swim on their own and attach themselves to turtles, dugongs, and other cheap transport. As I understood later, I was lucky with the tiger rays. I saw several right away, but dugongs are a rarity in this bay. They take you to the neighboring one to see them. That's my instructor, and he took these shots. You also come across some really strange fish here. I wouldn't have noticed, but Stefan's sharp eye caught that the sand was moving strangely. With one eye, the instructor keeps an eye on the instruments. They're fine, but you need to have your own, Stefan thought, and explained to me that I was being foolish and shouldn't touch the fish. On the way back to the beach, we walked along the reef, where colorful life is always buzzing.
You only went twice. Yes, it was only twice. Yeah, really? I don't think that happened. That was just awesome.
The first time underwater, I was down for so long. We swam for a whole hour. We saw so much.
Beef alone is so easy. I want to run and do aerobics.
In the second part, let's say, the tank was pulling me up because it became empty and light. So it was constantly pulling him up. But the problem for you today? No. I basically survived just for the coffee, and now we've arrived and we're going to drink it.
Today I even got a certificate. It's for beginners. But there aren't many certified specialists like that in Moldova, so I'll try to make the most out of this document at our lakes. Port on safari. On the way, we stopped in the city of Marsa Alam. It's currently in the early stages of development and is just being built. The first one in the region, well, it hasn't opened yet because of the pandemic, but tourists can stroll down the street with shops, where we got a coffee pot, and check out the mosque where kids are playing in a pile of gravel. The road runs along the sea, and you can constantly see the blue bays from the window. We drove to one of them. On the shore, there are only a few people and an empty Bedouin tent.
It's a well-known little bay. People come here despite the fact that there's no infrastructure at all. Just pure, soft sand and a very blue bay.
In safari, it's not just about riding ATVs. This activity itself gets boring pretty quickly, but to ride through the desert and see the Martian landscapes without flying to another planet, just right. The main thing is to take some water with you. On the red planet, that's a problem. Imagine how long the roots of these trees need to be to reach it. Climbing to one of the peaks, I realized that Africa is not just sand, but also endless mountains made up of all sorts of different types of stone.
Mustafa, what are these mountains called? Sibushka, the Red Sea. Sibushka, the Red Sea. Sibushka. Is it warm, the Red Sea?
It's a coral reef, you could say.
And here we have salt under our feet.
Yes, and there's also granite somewhere.
This one is black.
It's not salt.
Mustafa said it's salt, but it's not salt.
It's not salty at all.
Seems granite.
Winding between the mountain ranges on ATVs, we ended up at a Bedouin camp. Right now, there's no one at home, except for a camel's head. But during the high season, it's noisy and fun here, like this.
I understand. Before the pandemic, there were a lot of people here. It's all packed. Right now, it's just us.
Hey, there's not even an owner.
If you want to have some fun in the evening outside the hotel, then it's Port Gallup, a small but modern and even luxurious resort. Elite housing and hotels, expensive yachts, and a nice promenade with hookah lounges, cafes, and a nightclub. We're watching the show from the second floor of the bathyscaphe docked in the port. Are these bathyscaphs made in Egypt? Wow, this is a really truly cool and amazing port. During the day, they take tourists to the reef, and in the evening, they serve as a restaurant. And something like a museum where you can try on pharaoh outfits and sit on a throne.
Don't be so shameless. The most beautiful Egyptian cow. Is someone bringing me beer today? So many slaves, and is everything done?
In the stores. At Port Gallup, everything is for sale, including figurines of Egyptian gods. By the way, for the first time before Orthodox icons, I got a freebie from a local seller, perfume bottle. Of course, not for me, but for Tony.
Yes, it's a nice city, beautiful.
Yes, Moldova is a beautiful city.
We have very little Moldova here, very, very little Moldova. In Sharm el-Sheikh, there is a lot of it. Very nice. Welcome to Marsa Alam. This is a very beautiful city here, Marsa Alam. I was in Sharm el-Sheikh. There are a lot of Moldovans, really nice bargain. I love it like this. We bought a lot, indeed, and Layubka is always waving at us. Thank you. I'm currently picking out a nice gift for you. This is my shop. I want to give you something good. It smells nice. What perfume do you want? It's called Crazy Love. It's like a pheromone, a scent, pheromone, and then pheromone.
Yes, and so it comes together. Is there such a pheromone that drives them away? Yes, there is. Two.
They don't study, so thank you very much. Indeed, and they called me, and Bragan still had to settle up.
Promoted the seller's Instagram, and that's how this very eventful day in southern Egypt came to an end. Subscribe to the channel and check out Instagram, because this journey is still ongoing. It's still going on.